Good morning, friends. Thank you for joining me today on the Extra Value Card platform. My name is Pankaj Gaikwad. I am the Chief Strategist for Nisarga Fresh. Our company is working in the field of farm management and marketing of fresh produce since last 7 years. Have you ever wondered from where the produce has originated? Which farmer has grown your vegetables? How is the produce being handled before ending up on your table? All these questions will be answered by our Origin technology. Today, I will be presenting our concept of Origin Artificial Intelligence, which is a IoT based and artificial intelligence backed software which will help not only small and marginal farmers to get access to quality information related to crop selection, soil and water analysis, fertilization information, etc. But farmer will also be able to track along the supply chain where the produce is being sold, how they are getting the value for the produce, which is the end consumer. We are not only helping farmers to achieve increased yield, but as a marketing company, will be helping them to realize a value for the crop. Secondly, our software will also help the consumer to track how the produce is being handled from farm to the table. They will get to know which farmer is putting the produce and the food on the table and how much efforts he has taken to grow that one particular crop during the cropping season. But unfortunately, all the above development which was ongoing has faced a slowdown due to COVID-19. This pandemic is creating challenges to our day-to-day project implementation. As we had changed our focus from building something for the future to providing necessary distribution and selling support to our growers whose crop is getting destroyed in the fields due to lack of manpower, transport facilities, and more importantly, the commercial buyers. There are no big buyers in the market as of today. Because of this, farmers are facing lots of hardship to sell the produce which was ready for harvest. Many farmer producer companies have started direct to consumer marketing in hope to get some value for the produce, but in doing so, they are putting themselves at a greater risk of exposure to this epic scale virus which has halted everyone's life worldwide. In periods of uncertainty, it can be difficult to find any sort of constants or norms. However, during these times, they will all living through currently, there is one constant that has not changed. That constant is farming. Agriculture is one sector which is running in India today. The farmers we don't care about are responsible for our survival today. Like many of us have adopted to work from home culture, agriculture cannot adapt this working style. Life on the farm never stops. Crop still needs to be planted, animals still need to be cared for, and people still need to eat. While farmers can often be forgotten part of the food supply chain. Now perhaps more than ever, it's clear they are still here and they deserve to be recognized on the same level as the amazing men and women who are keeping other essential parts of our lives through their work in healthcare, grocery stores, law enforcement, and so many other areas. Well, this is the general scenario which everybody is facing today. Everybody is at home and everybody is under a lockdown. But the farmer is thriving is himself in the fields and is trying to do its best and is trying to put the produce on our plates. COVID-19 has affected and impacted our food systems on a global and a massive scale. The COVID-19 impact on the food system I am highlighting as follows. The COVID-19 pandemic fast-tracked the food transformation. The closing of borders, shortage of truck drivers and migrant workers, and lockdown of out-of-home channel like the restaurants, hotels, other food processing industries are posing immediate challenges to the highly globalized food sector and thus our food supply itself. But beyond that, the current situation and link between Food and Health further highlights the urgency of more broadly rethinking a global food supply system and making it future proof, as the situation which we are in currently will mostly likely last for another 18 months. It can be easy to cast farming as a negative light sometimes. Many people think the food shortage is because of the lack of farming activities. Well, the severity of the COVID 19 when it was first realized, when the country was put under a lockdown during March 25th, people began to flood grocery stores and strips shelf dry. It was easy to blame the farmer for the shortage of food. However, that blame was misplaced. It was a supply chain issue, as most stores were not prepared for sudden surge in demand that took place. While all food begins with the farmer, several steps are required before a final product finds its way to the store shelves. The current global food supply system operates in a very broad spectrum where open borders are very essential. All these borders are currently under lockdown. There are people not able to travel from one part of the city to other part of the city. Likewise, many workers, those who have left for their hometown, are unable to make back to the farms to harvest the produce. The modern food industry, to modernize it more further, open borders are essential. Raw materials are sourced from halfway around the globe by processing factories, which in their turn ship their finished products to consumer all across the world. Farm labor and logistics staff migrate from low wage to high wage areas. Planes fly fresh goods to far away destinations as consumers expect their favorite items to be available on a year round basis. Meals in India travel an estimated 1000 kilometers from farm to plate. This is, of course, impacting our planet heavily. At the end of this food chain, we see that about one third of all food produced and consumed is being wasted. And it is feared that this percentage is likely to become even higher when taking into account the hoarding trend by consumers. How COVID 19 is disrupting this global supply chain. From farm to table, missing links in the food supply are causing increasing disruption and damage. For example, harvesting. As harvesting season has arrived for most of the Rabi crops, as well as the spring season in other European countries, crops are rotting in the fields worldwide. For example, Europe's asparagus growers, for instance, are dramatically short of laborers, with migrant workers from Eastern Europe unable to come to their farms due to border restrictions or simply afraid to risk infection. Travel restrictions are one part, but migrant workers are fear for their own life. They are not coming out of their home in the risk of getting infected. Second part is logistics. Food transport, meanwhile, is steadily turning into a logistics nightmare. Even though government has brought out many initiatives to put the food and make the essential mode of transport available, many farmers are not getting access to the transport. Even if the produce is somehow harvested, somehow the farmer is harvesting the produce, border controls, air freight restrictions are making domestic and international transport of fresh goods extremely difficult and expensive. Because of this, almost 80% of the exports market have subsidized. There is no export movement as it was pre-COVID-19 situation. Because of this, bulk of the produce is getting rotted into the field itself. Second, processing. Food processing plants are scaling or shutting down due to the containment measures or the staff shortages, with their suppliers scrambling to adjust their output. Many food processing companies are not having workers in the factories to process the food so that the processing can be at least done on the surplus product. So the surplus product is also not being processed. So entire produce or the supply chain has come to a standstill. To modify and to adjust the output, many countries have started reducing the output or adjusting the output. For example, in Canada, most of the poultry farms have collectively acted to reduce the output by 12.6%. But this output is impacted at the risk by killing the birds. Now, this is again against animal welfare. But this is the situation which COVID 19 has put everybody and each and every industry in. The go to market, for example, the hotels, restaurants, food chains, takeaways, QSR, all these places are shut. Companies that are normally processing juices or soft drinks are not able to sell significant portion of the output. Because of this, these companies are not buying any of the raw material from the farmers. In turn, it is impacting their sales, the production, and other activities. The fourth and most prominent part of this supply chain is the procurement. Supermarkets and grocery stores, while achieving a record number of sales during a short period. For example, many of the supermarkets have sold out the entire 6 months produce in a span of 1 week. But these people, the supermarkets and grocery stores, are again understaffed and they are not getting deliveries on time. Because of this procurement problems, products based on wide range of ingredients, which are becoming increasingly difficult to make, these products are not being prepared or these products are disappearing from the shelves. How COVID 19 is fueling this transition, because the food chain was already on the verge of transformation, because many people were shifting onto healthy meal choices, personalized nutrition, but how COVID 19 has refueled it at a faster pace. Even before the coronavirus outbreak, the food supply chain was in a transition. The forces at play are still the same. Through the pandemic has added extra fuel to quite a few of them. For example, changing consumer preferences. Meanwhile, global consumer preferences are changing under the influence of COVID 19, with people becoming more health conscious and spending more time in their own kitchens. The coronavirus has added a lot of fuel to the already growing demand for fresh, healthy, additive free food with traceable origins, with an increasing preference for local produce. Because of the uncertainty or because of not knowing from where the product is coming, many people have opted for the local produce which is produced in their nearby area or which is produced by their known set of farmers or a known set of company, or many people have even started doing green leafy vegetables or other portable vegetables in their own kitchen gardens. They are not going outside the home, or they are not eating the produce from unknown sources. They're questioning the traceability of the product. Second part is increasing volatility in the supply. The coronavirus pandemic has further fueled the volatility, which was already on the rise due to geopolitical and climatical changes. Because of the climatical changes, many produce which was due in certain seasons is not available. The seasons have changed. Certain products are available around the year. Certain products are not available. Because of this uncertainty, the market has become volatile. There is changing in trade conditions. On top of global trade wars and ensuing political tensions, COVID 19 and related containment measures are putting brakes on international trades. Many countries have restricted certain products to enter their borders. Many countries are not allowing certain produce to be sent outside. Because of the strict rules and standards, because of this COVID 19, the food safety concerns have been highlighted to a larger scale. Now, food safety has become a prominent part. People, those who were unaware of what sanitizer is or how the sanitization occurs, people have started asking whether the product has been sanitized before you are giving it to us. There are no sanitization measures in place at the farm level. Because of this, there are lots of food safety concerns, which will further heightened in the wake of this pandemic, leading to more regulatory pressures worldwide. Many countries will restrict certain products entering their domain until and unless proven the product is food safe. Because of the demographic and social changes, while growing populations and middle classes will remain a theme, many people will target the growing population, middle class, young generation. We could see new social patterns emerge in the post-outbreak era, such as less globalization. People will prefer not to travel at a further distance. They will try to find and stick to their surroundings, try to create new opportunities, in the nearby area. Many people are more focused on regional and local products, as these products are capturing a bigger share in production and consumption these days. The fifth change will happen is the rapid technological advances. IT innovations are improving not just efficiency and sustainability, but also supply chain visibility. For example, you will soon enough get to know from which farmer your vegetable or the fruit or milk you are getting. Our company is working on this concept, and we have named this theme as the Origins Artificial Intelligence or the Origin AI. Now, to spot and address supply chain issues at an early stage, what we are trying to do is we are creating this artificial intelligence in such a way that the farmer has is given a predictive analysis of the crop during the cropping season. The concept will be highlighted and illustrated as I further discuss this situation ahead. Well, as the future of the food is still a concern, this health emergency can soon become a food emergency if certain situations are not tackled at a much early and a better perspective has been placed. Countries, those who are having surplus produce, need not put restrictions on the exports. The countries, those who are short of supply, need to open up their borders. They have to loosen the restrictions to bring in the food supply so that the more fruit is put into the table in each and every houses. As far as the future of the food is concerned, in the post COVID-19 situation, there are many food issues that were already on the radar because of their social and environmental impact. But due to COVID-19, in the full glare of public attention, these issues have come and brought up to the light. For example, many TV channels are showing how the Indian APMC markets are operated, how the vegetables are handled. There is no food safety in place in any of the APMC markets which you have seen. People are flocking through the mandis and they are buying the vegetables on the roadside and the street side, and those vegetables are brought to your houses. Now, these products are not sanitized. These products are not handled properly. Now, all this situation has been brought into a full attention at a world scale. Many people from all parts of the world are watching this situation which is being developing in the country. It has become more urgent than ever for society to rethink the future of the food and the fresh product how we are handling. All of us must work towards a future where there is enough food for our growing global population, where production and consumption respect planetary boundaries and waste is minimized. In the transformation ahead, every company in the food value chain, from suppliers to farmers to processors to retailers and restaurants, will be faced with new challenges, but also there will be new opportunities. The key to overcoming current and future challenges while leveraging the opportunities lies in rapid adaptation of food tech, digitization, and ecosystems. We can identify four mega trends that are going to shape the future of food. I have highlighted the certain products, certain themes where many businesses can think of adopting to these changes, or many individuals can think around this four trends to start their own business. Companies that recognize and respond to these trends will stay successful and be part of the solution. Lots of inspiring initiatives are already underway. For example, the first is personalized nutrition. Consumers are looking for food products that suit their particular lifestyle and the life phase they are in. In response, and for example, companies are focusing on alternative proteins to replace meat. Also, they produce special products or alternative protein nutritional needs of children, elderly, and athletes. Personalized nutrition accelerates the crossover between food, technology, and big data. COVID-19 affects personalized nutrition as the pandemic has been hitting people with pre-existing health conditions such as diabetes and obesity. Instead of treating when these people get sick, what can we do to preemptive care and improve their health through optimizing their personal diet? This might trigger a structural change in consumption pattern. and we should not underestimate the underlying behavioral change and supporting platform that is required in order to make new food habits stick. So, any company, those who is looking to start or can work on personalized nutrition, can create curated menus targeted towards certain people of the society like the elderly or the children, and they can come up with this solution. Second is responsible production and waste. The question companies currently facing are, how do we produce and supply safe, healthy food in a way that doesn't exhaust our planet's natural resources and pollute the environment? An example for this is climate smart farming approach. This approach addresses the challenge of food security and a changing climate with a focus on a soil health, biodiversity, and water conservation, with the ultimate goal of achieving carbon neutrality or even carbon positive per farm. This is an initiative which the European government has been aggressively pushing forward. Another related question is, how can we reduce the amount of food loss and waste? Currently, a whopping one third of total production. Less waste means feeding more mouths with the same production volumes and resources. A win-win situation. That's why countless circular initiatives are aimed at minimizing loss and waste and repurposing waste streams. Many companies, those who are working in the fresh F&B, they are recycling the waste produced into processed products, and this processed products are going on into the markets. One sore issue in this pandemic is food waste. In countries where a lockdown is in place, waste is currently at an all-time high due to the fact that many food processing units, hotels, industries, schools are closed, forcing many farms to destroy tons of fresh foods that they can no longer sell. The change ahead is Food Industry 4.0. This mega trend is about the digitization of the entire food value chain. New digital technologies, artificial intelligence, smart data, blockchain, robotization, and precision farming, to name a few, present companies with exciting opportunities to boost their productivity and reduce their cost. Our Origin AI is helping us to build digital farming community. Digital farming is a combination of digital technology assets, data collection, data storage, and management, analytics, and decision making that work together to unlock farms' potential. Example, we help growers to make better decisions that will lead to optimal operations and productivity improvements. In short, they turn data and information into actionable decisions for their retailer and grower customers, all the while ensuring confidentiality. The third trend is rise of indoor vertical farming. For example, amid the COVID-19 outbreak, United Arab Emirates pushes to transform food production where 80% of the food is imported. They invest in a new indoor farm that will soon commercially grow tomatoes under solely artificial LED lights in a climate controlled warehouse. This vertical farming is on the rise worldwide. Many Arab nations are pushing for local production to avoid the dependency on the imported fresh fruits and other food products. The fourth part is ecosystem orchestration. To really change the status quo and achieve maximum impact, what we need is a seamless orchestrated food ecosystem. Beside all the parties in the food value chain, an ecosystem also includes multiple stakeholders such as governments, NGOs, the healthcare sectors, universities, and financial sector. Bringing the diverse range of parties together and getting them to communicate and cooperate is a challenge in itself. But the dividends of such cooperation are tremendous. COVID-19 provides momentum for food ecosystem collaboration. As the pandemic is resulting in food shortages, higher food prices, and inability to fulfill consumer demand of certain consumer segments such as elderly and hospital staff. An illustration of this ecosystem collaboration is one where complete food retailers are working together to deliver shopping to hospital workers, or quick service restaurants employees are temporarily being staffed to food retailers. People, those who were not doing grocery, These people have started moving groceries. This is the collaboration which is needed, much needed post COVID-19 pandemic. Reshaping the supply chain. The containment measures during the COVID-19 pandemic have drastically impacted the essential flow of food from farms and producers to consumers. Many lessons will be learned once the worst effects of COVID-19 subside, but we think one of the key lessons for food business is already crystal clear. Companies need to use the momentum of the outbreak as an opportunity to redesign their supply chain with future resilience in mind. The COVID-19 pandemic has imposed new ways of living and working for all of us around the world. During this time of unprecedented crisis, we must do our part to help preserve our way of life. I am tremendously proud to share how our team has stepped in the COVID-19 to ensure families have access to the food they need. Our commitment to using our business as a force for good has never been more important. We will continue to do what is necessary as we navigate what awaits us in days and months ahead. The concept which I wanted to highlight here was our Origin AI, where what we are doing is we are providing a small and marginal farmer with a land holding of around 4 acres with one cow per 4-acre farm. We are doing the precision farming and we are giving them the itemized cropping, wherein we are growing pulses in 1 acre or cereals. We are growing 1 acre of fodder for the cow to feed upon. We are growing 1 acre of vegetable and we are growing 1 acre of oil seeds. The cows which are given to the farmers are GPS tagged with a feed nutrition sensor. We record the movement of the cow during the period of a day during the grazing cycle. When the cow comes back to the milking station and the feed nutrition station, based on the movement and the sensor's activity, the cow has fed with automated nutrition. This nutrition enables the cow to give healthy milk, and the fodder which is then generated, the cow dung, is reutilized in the same farm of 4 acres for doing the organic farming activity. All these farms are planted with soil and moisture sensors, fertilization sensors, which are being developed, and these sensors collect the data on a day-to-day basis and are being put into the system. This data which is being fed into the system is being utilized to calculate the decision which the farmer needs to take in the immediate 2 or 3 days cycle. And this predictive modeling helps the farmer to reduce the feed given to the farm, the feed given to the cow, and overall the optimal utilization of the resources is there. The milk which is collected is completely human free. This milk is being tagged with that particular cow, and this has been transported to the milking station or the milk collection centers. Here we are bagging the milk collection centers with the automated machines. This milk is then transported to the end consumer. When the end consumer scans the code on the bag or the bottle of the packet of the milk, he will get to know which cow has given that milk. This is the traceability which we are giving in the dairy farming. Simultaneously, the product which is being grown, the vegetables, the pulses, the cereals, the oil seeds, are brought to a fulfillment center. This particular model we are adopted in a farm in an area of Kannad, Aurangabad, where we have created a cluster of about 50 farmers with whom we are doing this pilot, wherein we are collecting the produce at a fulfillment center at about 10 kilometers from their farms. All the produce has been gathered at this particular fulfillment center. The fresh fruits and vegetables are sanitized under UVC light technology, which is harmless for the human life, but the produce is 99.99% sanitized for its germicidal and bacterial effects. This fresh produce is then repackaged, tagged for the origin of the farms, and this produce is being supplied to the end consumer in the urban areas of Aurangabad, Pune, and Bombay. And we are also putting the same produce in the European market, wherein on a pilot phase we have started sending out certain consignments of mangoes this year for Kesar, which are planned from the month of May onwards. This is how we are planning to tackle the situation and give the traceability which is much needed by the farmers as well as the consumers, those who are questioning the food produce and the traceability. Thank you so much.